So on today's episode of Saber Sundays, we're going to look at one of the sabers that's only seen once, maybe twice in all the movies. So stick around, we'll take a look at that one next. Welcome back. Like I stated, we are going to look at the Ben Solo saber today. It's only one of three sabers besides the Leia Organa and the yellow-bladed Rey that literally shows up only one time in the movies that I can remember, and only in The Rise of Skywalker. This particular saber you only see during a sequence where old man Luke Skywalker is talking to Rey in discussion of why basically he tried to kill Ben Solo. We see where he's standing over Ben Solo in a flashback where he's talking about what happened, and you can see where Ben Solo wakes up and looks up at Luke Skywalker, and it's just, you can see the fear in his eyes at first, and then he force pulls his saber to him. And that's the saber we're going to look at right now. So let me go ahead and kick us over to a wider screen so that way you guys can see this better. So here's the case that, let me sit back here. This is the case that the saber comes in. It has the nice blue logo on the button. I've already bumped it open. Blue logo symbolizing, you know, the blade color for Ben Solo's saber with the Jedi logo on it. And inside we have the saber itself. Now, you may be saying to yourself, well, that looks a whole lot like Kylo Ren's, and you would be correct. This is very similar to Kylo Ren's because actually the Kylo Ren version is this saber modified because when he becomes Kylo Ren. So we're going to take a look at this one here today. I'll go ahead and take it out so I can show you. This particular saber, being it does have the larger case and is a little bit more expensive because, for one, it is a larger saber compared to the regular sabers that you have. But inside the case, which is the reason why it costs more, is it has its own belt clip. This belt clip is specifically designed for this saber and this saber alone, mainly because with the coloration of it, it will work with the Kylo Ren saber. However, it's not colored for the Kylo Ren saber, which we'll look at that saber next week. We'll do a comparison of Ben Solo and Kylo Ren so you can really see the differences between the two. But this particular belt clip, it does have the clip on the back to be able to go on your belt. You slide it over, and then it has a groove on there for the saber to go into, and it works with this particular belt clip attachment. It does not have your standard CoverTech wheel on this particular saber, and this one here just basically slides and drops into place just like that, hangs on your belt, and then to take it off you basically just pull it up. It's a little snug because I have not used this belt clip. This is probably one of only a handful of times that I've actually put this belt clip on there. I mean, I still have the paint and everything on the brass piece here, so it hasn't actually rubbed off yet. But it does have a nice little groove on the side here so that the tab right here that you see can lock onto the belt clip and try to keep it secured for you if you are planning on using this or you wanting to use it for a bounding or cosplay or anything. But here is the saber itself. Like I said, it does look very, very similar because it is essentially the earlier version of your Kylo Ren with the silver design. It does have coloration on the emitter end here, basically, you know, kind of because it's kind of a shiny almost looks more aluminum color, or if you're out of the States, aluminium color, or it's discolored because of the heat, basically, on there. We do have the blade dust cap plug that goes in there, and this is your activation switch. It's just a simple up and down, back and forth switch on there on this blade. I've taken most all the stickers off, but I just noticed I still have one on the back that I did not pull off of this saber, surprisingly enough. But the saber's got some weight to it. This particular saber weighs in at 1 pound 12.4 ounces, so it's kind of in the middle as far as overall weight, a little bit more towards the heavier side of the middle range for the different sabers. Still having, you know, your let's see, what was it? The Ray, I believe, was the heaviest overall of all the sabers, and I believe your Obi-Wan is the lightest of them. So this kind of falls right there in that mid range of weight, you know, when you're carrying it. Now it does feel nice in the hand. You do, you know, you've got the thumb ignition right there for you. So if you're holding it, you know, you've got the thumb ignition that's right there, easy access for it and everything. So not really an issue with that side of it. I got a little bit of residue here from the sticker that's normally on the for the ignition switch. Your battery casing on this one is different than your other ones, because you can technically see the battery case inside this saber because of the way it's designed and the cap on the end that's here holding it in place. They had to add something onto it to hold it in place a little bit. So I will tell you one thing with this, if you do have them or you decide to get a Ben Solo or a Kylo Ren, is be careful not to tighten the red cap on the end here, the cover plate that's on the end of the battery. If you tighten it up too tight, it's going to be a nightmare to get off. I made that mistake one time and it was very difficult to get it off. What I have found, though, is based on how you position, you know, the saber, it tends to come off or go on a little bit easier. So the cap just threads off, just a simple cap. There's no speaker holes on there. It does have the serial number and stuff on it. But then your battery chassis inside basically looks like this. It does take AA batteries, but it has this design on the end of it to kind of give it that look as you're seeing it through the actual base piece or the pommel end of the saber. It does have little air speaker holes, like right here. There's a couple speaker holes. Put my thumb there. I don't know if you can really see my thumb through it very well or not. But you, like I said, you do have your AA battery, or I'm sorry, AA batteries inside this chassis. With this one here, it's easy to tell whether or not you have it actually inserted properly, because if it's sticking out very much, it's not. So you're just going to kind of turn it until you get it positioned just right. It's a little snug, but once you find the right position, there you go, it basically drops down. You get a little bit of that springiness right there, and that's where your cap's going to hold it in place. So you set your cap on there and get it to thread on. Like I said, it can be a nightmare to get on there sometimes. What I have found is with threading it on, it's easier if you hold it up, because it's not sitting with the weight on the threads going into it, and it tends to thread on a little bit easier. And you want to go just till it stops, otherwise you're going to get it too tight. So once you get it to where you're pretty much sitting where it just starts to snug up, and you just want to make sure it can move just a tad, then you know you've got it tightened enough. If you go any more than that, you're going to be in there with something in this little channel right here trying to get that thing out, and I fought with it for a while. So that's the way it looks. That's how you get to the battery. Sorry, got up in your face. This is the way it looks. This is how you get to the batteries. We've taken the blade plug dust cap out. So let's go ahead and insert our Jaymoo blade and see what kind of colors we get. All right, so let's go ahead and ignite the blade. This is really the first time that I've put this blade in this saber. It's only been ignited a handful of times at most, and it's only been with your stock blades from Galaxy's Edge. So let's go ahead and turn it on. You've got a nice tone. You can hear the tone. It's got a little bit more sensitivity, not much compared to some of the other ones. Got some nice clash sensitivity on it, and the sound quality is pretty good. It's got a good speaker sound with those little channels that are on there to be able to let the sound out, but that's what it sounds like. Go ahead and turn this off. Let's take that blade out, and that is the Ben Solo Saber. So on next week's episode, I know this has been a short one, next week's episode we're going to look at comparing this with what you see over here. There it is right there. The Kylo Ren version of that. So look for that next Sunday, and we'll see. We'll take a deeper dive into the differences between the two. So with that being said, thank you again for visiting today. I appreciate you tuning in to watch. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button down below, the little bell icon, so you get notifications whenever I go live. Also, I will tell you that I am on every single video when I'm putting them out now. I'm uploading tweets and Instagram posts. So if you want to be able to get the most up-to-date and the quickest notifications of when these videos go live, go ahead and check me out on those. I've got the information right down here for you, at the Kyber Curator on Instagram, and then just the Kyber Curator on Twitter as well. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for stopping by. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the Ben Solo. Do you like it? Do you not like it? I'd be interested to hear what you got to say. So thanks again for stopping by. And as always, may the Force be with you.